Om Shanti, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us, those of you that are here, and we've had a great chit chat already. And warm greetings to those of you joining us through the video or the audio. Thank you for being with us, and welcome as our new Baba's room is coming together. And please keep sending your vibrations of light and might. Ranjan Ben and I feel sustained by all of your yoga power reaching us as you give drishti to this room and we build it. Devi Janki, when she had visited us, last time she visited us, she gave our place a blessing that the silence from this place would spread throughout the UK and into the world. So I think that's also all of you spreading your silence through as you give drishti to this place, and then it spreads. So today we're going to read a Murli on the power of silence. So I'm going to hand over to Ranjan Ben to read it, and then I'll make some comments as we go along. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. This is the Murli of 18th November 1987. 1987. Bap Dada says the method to accumulate the power of silence, the stage of being introverted and in solitude. The method to accumulate the power of silence, the stage of being introverted and in solitude. Today, the Almighty Authority, Bap Dada, is looking at his Shakti army. This spiritual Shakti army is a unique army. It is called the spiritual army, but it has specially the power of silence. And it is a non-violent army that gives peace. So today, Bap Dada was looking at every child who is a bestower of peace. To what extent each one has accumulated the power of silence. This power of silence is the special weapon of the spiritual army. All of you are those who hold this weapon, but you are number wise. The power of silence will make the whole world peaceful from peaceless. It will transform not only human souls, but it will also transform the elements of nature. The power of silence now has to be known and experienced in an even deeper way. The more powerful you become with this power, the more you will continue to experience the importance and greatness of the power of silence. At present, you are experiencing through the power of words. And the power of the facilities of service. And through this experience, you are achieving success. However, the power of silence is very much greater than the power of words and the physical facilities of service. The means of the power of silence is also elevated. Just as you use pictures, projectors, and videos as a means of service through words, In the same way, the beings of the power of silence are pure thoughts, good wishes, and the language of the eyes. Just as you give the introduction of the Father and the creation through the language of words, in the same way, on the basis of the power of silence and with the language of the eyes, you can give an experience of the Father. Just as you show images through the projector, in the same way, you can clearly show the sparkling image of yourself and the Father in the center of your forehead. Just as at present, you give people an experience of the pilgrimage of remembrance through words. In the same way, with the power of silence, your face will automatically give the experience of the different stages of remembrance. Those who have that experience will easily feel that at that time they are experiencing the seed stage, or that they are experiencing the angelic stage, or they will automatically experience various virtues through your powerful face. Just as through words you enable souls to have feelings of love and cooperation, in the same way, when you yourself have good wishes and are stable in the stage of love, then whatever your feelings are, you will enable those same feelings to arise in them. Your good wishes will ignite their feelings. Just as a lamp ignites a lamp, in the same way, your powerful good wishes will easily make the most elevated feelings arise in others. Just as you now carry out all the physical tasks through words, in the same way, you can just as easily carry out and enable others to carry out any physical task with the elevated method of the power of silence, that is, with the power of pure thoughts. Just as the facilities of the power of science are the telephone and wireless, in the same way, these pure thoughts will give you the experience of speaking directly, face to face, or like having a task carried out through the telephone or the wireless. These are the specialities of the power of silence. The power of silence is no less. However, because you use the power of words and physical facilities a lot more, you find that easy. You haven't yet experimented with the methods of the power of silence, and this is why you haven't got that experience. You find the other way easy and this one difficult. Means through words and physical facilities, Baba says you children find that easy rather than experimenting about the power of silence. So that's why Baba says you find the other way easy and this one difficult. However, according to the transformation of time, you will definitely have to use the methods of the power of silence. Therefore, O elevated souls, bestowers of peace, gain experience of the power of silence. Just as by practicing with words, you have become powerful in words, in the same way, continue to become more practiced in the power of silence. As you progress further, you won't have time to serve through words or physical facilities. At such a time, the methods of the power of silence will be necessary, because that which is greatly powerful will also be extremely subtle. So pure thoughts are more subtle than words. And this is why the impact of the subtle will be powerful. Even now, you are experienced in that, where the power of words cannot carry out a task. You say, this one will not understand through words. He will only be transformed through pure feelings. Where words cannot make a task successful, the experience of mercy and love through the means of the power of silence, pure thoughts, good wishes, and the language of the eyes can accomplish a task. Even now, when someone who debates a lot comes through words, he would debate even more. Therefore, you make that one sit in remembrance and give him the experience of the power of silence. Do you not? If he then experiences peace for even a second through remembrance, he himself will surrender his debating intellect in front of the experience of silence. So continue to increase the experience of the power of silence. As yet, there is very little experience of this power of silence. The majority of you have only experienced as little as a drop of the sweetness of the power of silence. O bestowers of peace, your devotees ask your non-living images for peace more than anything else, because happiness is merged in peace. They only experience that for a short time. So, Bapdada was seeing how many souls have the experience of the power of silence, how many souls speak about it, and how many souls experiment with it. So three things. So Bapdada was seeing how many souls have the experience of the power of silence, how many souls speak about it, and how many souls experiment with it. For this, there is a need to become introverted and to stay in solitude. It is easy to come into extroversion. However, according to the time now, a lot of practice of being introverted is required. Some children say that they don't have time to be in solitude, that they don't have time to experience the state of introversion, because the activities of service and of the power of words have increased a lot. However, there is no need to find half an hour or an hour at a time for this. Baba says, while in the midst of the activities of service, you can find that much time in between in which you can experience being in solitude. To be in solitude means to stabilize yourself in any one powerful stage. You can become stable in the seed stage, become stable in a stage of a lighthouse or a might house. That is, you can become stable in the stage of being one who gives light and might to the world. Through the angelic stage, give others the experience of the Avyak stage. If you concentrate on this stage for even 1 second or 1 minute, then having this stage for even 1 minute can give you and others a lot of benefit. You just need to practice this. Now, who is there who would not have time for even a minute? When the system of traffic control started, some used to think, how is this possible? The activity of service is very big and you remain busy. However, since you kept the aim, it has become possible. That program is continuing, is it not? Do you have this program of traffic control at the centers, or do you sometimes miss traffic control it and sometimes have it? This too is a system of the Brahmin clan. It is a discipline. Just as you consider other disciplines to be essential in the same way, this too is necessary for progress of the self, for success in service, and for the atmosphere of the center. So, by keeping the aim of having the practice of being introverted and in solitude with that deep love from your heart, find time to do this from time to time. Those who know the importance of this will automatically find time. If there isn't that importance given to it, you won't find that time. To stabilize your mind and intellect in a powerful state is to be in solitude. You saw Sakar Brahma Baba. The sign of coming close to perfection was that while in service, while listening to news, he used to go into solitude. You experienced this, did you not? He would understand the news of 1 hour. He would understand the news of 1 hour in its essence in 5 minutes and would make the children happy and also give them the experience of his stage of introversion and solitude. The sign of perfection is that he experienced the stage of introversion and solitude while walking and moving around and while listening and doing things. So are you not able to follow the Father? Does anyone have greater responsibility than that which Father Brahma had? Father Brahma never said that he was too busy, but he became an example in front of the children. Now, according to the time, there is a need for this practice. While having all facilities of service, there will be a need to serve through the power of silence, because the power of silence is a power that gives an experience. Mostly, with the power of words, the arrow only hits as far as the head, whereas the arrow of experience reaches the heart. So, according to the time, there will be the cry. give us an experience for just a second. Those who are tired of listening and speaking will come. With the methods of the power of silence, you will be able to take them beyond with a glance. With your pure thoughts, you will be able to end the waste thoughts of souls. With your pure feelings, you will enable their feelings of love for the Father to emerge. Only when you make those souls content with the power of silence will they sing praise in front of you souls who are the living bestowers of peace. O bestowers of peace, O bestower of peace. Then by carrying this last sanskar with themselves, they will become devotee souls in the copper age and sing this praise in front of your known living images. Baba will tell you at some other time about the importance of traffic control and also how necessary it is. However, know the power of silence for yourself and use it for service. Do you understand? Today, Punjab has come. In Punjab, there is importance of service through the power of silence. With the power of silence, you can make those with a violent attitude non-violent. You saw at the time of the beginning of establishment how those who had a violent attitude were transformed in front of the spiritual power of silence. So it is the power of silence that will quieten those with a violent attitude. They are just not ready to listen to words. When a wave of heat or cold is able to spread everywhere with the power of nature, then can the waves of silence not be spread everywhere by the lords of nature? Instruments of science can transform a very hot atmosphere into a cool atmosphere. So can spiritual power not transform souls? So what did those from Punjab hear? Everyone should feel the vibrations of someone with a treasure store of peace, giving them rays of peace. It is Punjab that has been given time to do such service. You hold functions and exhibitions anyway, but experience this power and also give others this experience. Your mind needs to have a concentrated and powerful attitude. The more powerful a lighthouse is, the further it can send its light. So this is the time for experiment with this power. Do you understand? Acha. Then there's a group from Andhra Pradesh.
We'll stop. We'll stop. Thank you.
So this is an accurate movie for what is going on in Glasgow. And that's why probably you couldn't find, because this was accurate Murli. I thought that at the moment, Baba's children in Glasgow and also this from all over the world, some of them have gone for the environment summit, COP26. And Baba's children is keeping this one thought and giving, and they're asking everyone. And so now, like Baba said, because they're tired and, the Swedish activists and all of them, but she keeps on saying that stop this blah blah and they want actions. And also Baba also said that they are tired. And now, and so let's see. And Baba said to keep those thoughts for nature. And this is what Baba's children are doing. And of course, if they get a chance, they will be doing other service. But at present, we see that it's happening now. And so I thought, well, this was an accurate Murli Baba chose for us.
In this morning's blessing, Baba was saying to us that children, develop your stage of being absorbed in the remembrance of one. And the fruit of that will be supersensory happiness. You have to have this stage where you're removing your mind, your heart, your intellect from the attractions of all sides. And the attractions can be positive, the attractions can be negative, or the attractions can be just ordinary. But if we check ourselves in the day, our mind, our heart, our intellect pull in so many different directions. And we remember Baba sometimes in part of our consciousness. So we've got an awareness of Baba, but we're not really able to say that the whole of our consciousness is completely focused on Baba. A lot of the time in yoga as well, we might actually be talking to Baba about things happening in our drama. And Baba, this is happening, I need your help with this. Baba, please send vibrations for it. And we might be talking with Baba actually about many of the things happening in our personal drama. So those are also attractions. And what Baba wants us to do is to develop our yoga so that the mind, the heart, and the intellect, all three, come into alignment to remember Baba. And maybe for many Brahmins, we just have that experience occasionally where everything is aligned. And maybe we can hold it just for a few minutes. And so Baba's saying you have to develop this. This is known as the power of silence, where you haven't got any other thought, any other feeling. And then in today's slogan, Baba took that further and, well, gave another benefit, which was you'll be able to catch the intentions and motives in others' minds also, as you develop this level of silence, this concentration. Another word that Baba uses is the wireless connection. And the wireless connection means that the mind, intellect, and sanskars have no other thought. So then it's like your own intuition is very active. And Baba, you can catch Baba's inspiration as well. So Chit Baba was giving us the example in the Murli we've just heard, that Brahma Baba might have had to sit in a meeting with a brother or sister where they are sharing, maybe they're in charge of a zone, maybe they're in charge of some other service. And so he would have needed to sit in that service meeting for maybe 1 hour. But actually, in the first 5 minutes, he's understood. So Chit Baba was commenting that Brahma Baba had this practice that for the remaining 55 minutes, he would actually disappear in silence inside. And Sister Shashi is one of the oldest students in the London class. And she had had the opportunity to spend quite a lot of time in the 1970s with Didi Manmohini when she was in Melbourne. Didi became Karmatit in 1983, so most of us didn't get an opportunity to meet her. But Sister Sheshi recounts that once someone asked Didi this question, that you are so busy, Didi and Daddy Prakashmani were running the whole yajna. Didi had taken over from Mama in 1965 as Baba's main assistant. I mean, even before then, she was like second after Mama anyway. And then she took over all of Mama's duties too since 1965, so she was very busy. So Didi, when do you get a chance? Because Didi was very famous for her yoga power. She was Daddy Janki's best friend in the yajna. Daddy Janki had a great deal of affection for Didi, and she trusted Didi more than anyone else in the yajna. Daddy Janki used to say that she never really had that much of a friendship with Mama, and not really with Daddy Prakashmani until Daddy Prakash, like later on when Daddy Prakashmani became the head. But her main friendship was Didi Manmohini and Daddy Chandramani. And Didi was famous for her drishti. Didi was never really a course giver, a class giver. Didi was more of a manager and a yoga giver and a Murli reviser. That was what she stuck to. But Didi would conduct Amrit Vela meditation. And after Brahma Baba, she was giving that experience of Baba's drishti in that yoga, in that conducting of yoga. And she was sharing once that what she does is when someone is sharing something with her, outside, she's nodding her head. So that person knows that she's listening. But she developed the practice that part of her mind and her intellect has gone up to Shiv Baba and into silence. So outside she's doing this, and she's also, she's got that practice. So that person knows that she's concentrating. But 90% of her mind has gone into silence with Shiv Baba. And this is what Shiv Baba was just sharing with us, that Brahma Baba had this practice. That 55 minutes, he's just gone into silence. He got the idea. But because he has to give respect, he has to give regard, he has to listen. So he has to please the children. But yes, he listened, he was there. But Brahma Baba had by then let go of it's the subtle dependency that we don't even really regard as dependency. But he had let go of the dependency on words and actions. This is a dependency. And if we want to become angels, angels don't speak. Angels don't have a body. They don't do. And so Shiv Baba is saying to us that children, look where you're going to get to. And it's true that brothers and sisters are doing a marvelous job through the power of words and of course many other mediums through which they're doing service. And Baba never says stop that. In fact, with the Murlis we hear from the 1960s, at that point Baba is encouraging the power of words a lot because there wasn't anything. So he needed to get everything going. But if you look at this Murli we just heard was from 1987. And if you look from the Murlis for the last 30, 40 years, Baba has made a switch. Because the power of words, they were happening anyway. There are centers everywhere. Now we have too many teachers, don't we? And not enough people to listen. So Brahmins are very good at sharing knowledge. But what Baba is saying is actually, Now let's move to the next method of serving, which is the power of silence. And Mama and Baba was sustaining us all through their power of silence. And what Shiv Baba is saying is, this is why you are able to experience the soul. You're able to experience the soul world, the subtle region, because Baba and Mama experienced it themselves. And because they are like the parent souls of the Brahmins, they're like the roots of the Brahmins. So until Mama and Baba experience these things, the Brahmins can't experience it. So they experienced it through their own yoga practice. And then the senior daddies, like Sister Jayanti always says, that the senior daddies that were there in Hyderabad and Karachi, they didn't really have so much detail of knowledge. But for them, it was all yoga, 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 all the time, yoga, yoga, yoga. And Baba made this comment in the Murli we were hearing last Sunday, which I think was the 15th of November, 1987, maybe the 19th of November, 1987. And you might remember it was on having a true heart and pleasing the Father, pleasing the Lord with a true heart. And Baba made this comment, this is speaking in 1989, that the daddies who served in the early 1950s, they started all those centers and they didn't really even know what they were doing. They were sharing whatever they knew. They didn't have really any centers, they didn't really have any pictures, they certainly didn't have all of the multimedia things that you have. But yet, they managed to attract souls through their power of spirituality. They had the language of the eyes. They had the shine on their face. And they had been practicing yoga for 14 years. And that was what was serving. And the souls that they then attracted were souls like Brother Jagdish, Sister Mohini, Brother Ramesh, Brother Bridgman, many others. And those souls themselves became such big marathons. Sister Jayanti, Sister Sudesh, Sister Nirma, they all came in that time. And so look at the result of the power of silence, that because they were able to impact through their spirituality, actually the souls that they served connected with Baba very powerfully. So Baba is now saying this again, that we can all see there's a limit to words. So Baba is saying, practice silence. And when Devi Janki last visited us, she gave our place a blessing. She said, the silence from here will spread throughout the UK. And then she paused, and then into the world. And so this Murli also reminds me of that blessing, that what do we have to do? We have to develop our power of silence, because that method is more subtle, that method is more elevated, that method will bring a different type of fruit. Words is a slightly lower level, so it brings a certain result. But silence is another level. So the idea is that Shiv Baba is the seed, Baba and Mama are the roots, and we Brahmins, we are the trunk. So the souls of the other faiths, or even souls of this faith who are yet to come, as we experience Shiv Baba more, and we experience knowledge more, the attainments that we gain, we can convey to others as we develop that experience of silence. So Baba and Mama experienced, and they were able to convey. And because they conveyed it, it's in the atmosphere, we're able to then experience. So as we experience more attainments from Baba through silence, then others after us, they can tap into that. And this is why the power of silence is the key method to conveying experiences. And experiences impact on the heart, whereas knowledge, of course, the arrow can only strike the head. But experience, by we use the term, can strike the heart. So let's all of us double down on our practice of going beyond thoughts, and actually whatever needs to be done, we just surrender it unto Baba. Practice just being thought-free, just me and Baba. And then the feelings, like there was a brother yesterday who came here, and he's a Lokik brother, and he, for free, offered to help me out. He gave a whole hour helping me out with something I couldn't do here in Baba's home. And I offered to pay him, and he refused to take any money. And he just said, give it to charity. So I said, of course, I will put it in your name and you will get the good karma of that. And he was sharing with me that he suffers from glaucoma. He's become blind in one eye, and he's got other heart, he's got stents in his heart. So this morning at Amrit Vela, yesterday as well, but this morning again at Amrit Vela, I just had these very good feelings for that soul. And I sat with the feelings that that soul should be blessed with health. And then, because if he's only got one eye, he needs that other eye to survive. And he's just been diagnosed with a tumor in that other eye. So I thought to myself, oh no, that soul, such a big heart, and that soul must keep that other eye. It's very important. And he's quite old, getting on as well. Must be about 60 something. So not a young person. And so I have these feelings. And because I know from Baba that I am a worship-worthy ancestor soul, I am a special deity soul. So Baba tells me I have the power to bless others, that there are temples where either soul can worship. So I have this power to bless. So what the blessing means is just having good feelings. So I have these good feelings for that soul. And then I just surrendered all thoughts to Baba, and then just sat with Baba. And then through that power of silence, my good feelings act as a blessing because of who I am in the tree for the souls who are after me. And this is known as experimenting with the power of silence. Sister Jayanti shares that what she does is the last 5 minutes of every Amrit Vela, she emerges the timetable of that day to come. So she will have a pretty good idea of what of the things where she has to be and who she has to meet. And then she emerges those scenes in front of Baba and fills those scenes with light in advance. And Baba calls, and so she's preparing all of those souls and all of those scenes in advance. And then it's like she's just repeating those scenes again in the drama, like 5,000 years ago. And the third thing that Baba mentions in the Murli is whenever you are serving anywhere, before planting seeds, you have to prepare the soil. Maybe some of you are gardeners, and you know that the soil, or even farmers know even more, that the soil is the crucial thing. And you have to prepare the soil. In fact, farmers cannot grow in the same soil, the same crop sometimes in the next year. And sometimes you have to leave even the soil for several years before you can grow again in that soil, because the soil is the key. So what Baba says is you have to prepare the soil through silence. And then your words are the seeds. And so some places, they don't give fruit so quickly. but you have a role to prepare them with silence. And as you prepare them with silence, then it could be another soul who goes and plants the seed, and that seed will then bear fruit. So this is also called experimenting with silence. And then the fourth experiment with silence, back in 2002, I think it was, I was in front of Baba for a meeting in Om Shanti Baba. And there was a retreat for Kumars, for single brothers, that I was participating in. And then when we met Baba, we all got asked to stand up during the Murli. And when Baba met us, or Baba said to all of us that day, that all of you Kumars are remembered as the Lord Ganesh. The Lord Ganesh is always shown as a Kumar, the son of Shiva and Parvati. And he is the remover of obstacles and the bestower of success. He is worshipped first among all deities. So Baba was saying that a Brahmin soul in the body of a Kumar has this special power to remove obstacles. So he asked us all to spend 5 minutes of every Amrit Vela. Well, I don't know if it was 5 minutes, it could have been a few minutes, but to spend some minutes of Amrit Vela removing obstacles from the yajna through our power of silence, to play the role of Lord Ganesh. So all Brahmin souls have this responsibility. We should experiment with removing obstacles from the yajna. So what I like to do each day is, wherever all of you Brahmins are, or wherever Brahmins are, I spend some time in silence to remove obstacles from your pathways, so that wherever you are serving, it will be easy and you will gain success. And so this is all part of the experiments with the power of silence. So I think we're towards the end of our time now, but does anyone have any quick comment?
Shanti brother,
No, Shanti.
Santi, Didi. The power of silence, I think, is very important. Like this morning, for example, he was having Amit Vela, and I'm conscious that, I mean, our time difference. So I wanted to get a chance to look at the Murli, because I know I wouldn't get a chance before class. And I did to a certain point, and then it's like Baba just, like pulled me into like, no, go into silence, and then anything after that. So yes, I couldn't understand, because this morning I had such a hard time getting onto your link here. And it's like, okay, I had all the time in the world to read the Murli all over again. So Amit Vela, I think, is like preparing us also, because we have to be in silence. And it's preparing us for the whole day,
The key is Amrit Vela, and if we can extend our Amrit Velas from time to time, we definitely should. I was mentioning that these daddies were really focusing on yoga when they were in Karachi and in Hyderabad. And Daddy Ratan Mohini, who is the senior daddy in Madhuban at the moment, she would share quite often when she was reading Murli that some Baba and Mama would make them sit 12 p.m. midnight until 5 a.m. That was quite regular for them. And sometimes Mama would even say, just like at 9 p.m., okay, let's not sleep tonight, let's just sit all night in yoga. And they would say to Mama, but we've been serving all day, our bodies are quite tired. shall we just sleep for a little bit? And then maybe, and Mama would say, well, where's the fun in that? Let's challenge ourselves. Let's work all day and have yoga all night and see if our power of silence can keep us going even without sleep. And this is the level to which these daddies became dependent on yoga, on silence, even beyond sleep and eating and other things. So I don't think you can do that every day, but you know, some days this is the level to which they did it. And so I think Amrit Vela is the key. And then if we can extend that a little more, sometimes we can try. Thank you for that contribution.
Thank you.
Okay, I think let's stop there because we had a long chit chat actually before the recording began as well. And through the power of silence, of course, we have this access to Shiv Baba, the Lord of the three worlds, to Brahma Baba, the Lord of the two worlds at the moment. So this is our key. We can keep Baba with us, and the souls that have Baba with us, what can they not achieve? So Om Shanti to all of you. We hope you have a great week. So Om Shanti.
Brother
Om
Shailen,
Shanti. Bye-bye.
Go ahead.
Brother Shailen,
Yes.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Lynette's sister,
Ah, wonderful to meet you. What's your name, sister?
Judy. Judy,
Julie, lovely to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
And are
But
you, where
your
are-
times, what time do you begin? What is your hour?
Yeah, currently it should be about just gone to 12:30 at the moment here in the UK. We start at 11 Greenwich Mean Time, GMT.
So in the US, because I'm in the US,
What time is it with you now at the moment?
right now it's 8:37.
So you are 4 hours behind us. So it will be 7 a.m. for you from next week.
Okay, that just at that time I'm with Brother Camter. I'm with Brother Camter. I'm listening on the Murli revision of the Murli.
Yes, you're welcome to join in whenever that's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
But thank you for introducing yourself. So thank you all. Om Shanti. Lovely to see you. Have a great week.
Thank you. Om Shanti, brother.
Om
See you, brother.
Om Shanti.
Didi.
Om Shanti.